wonderful. Thank you so much, Eric. And deep gratitude to all of you joining us from all over um, the place, all over the world, maybe. Um, Welcome to those of you who are new to this space. If you are new, please say hello in the chat and let people love on you. We like to do love bombs on people because we can get hate bombing everywhere else, quite frankly. But we try to keep it love and light, everyone. Peace and harmony. So it's really wonderful to be with you all. I am preparing to head to Europe tomorrow, actually. So I'll be in retreat in Portugal this weekend, starting Friday. So you have Portuguese friends or people living on the continent, tell them to come out, you know. And again, next week we will be starting our UK retreat, this Dharma Spring Awakening. Over 50 of us gathering again. It's a miracle that we keep it going in another country. But the promise is, as long as I can get to the UK, we're going to do it. But who knows? Every day in this fucking country, there's always some nonsense, you know? And this is it, right? This is it. This is systemic collapse, apocalypse, whatever you want to call it. This is it. You're living through it. You're surviving it. Maybe not as well as you thought, you know, but you're doing it. I was talking to one of my teachers today, and we were just talking about, you know, that we have to stop expecting so much from ourselves, right? Just getting up every morning, saying yes to this. And even though we're struggling, right? And it just feels like there's so much of everything, anger, grief, you name it. It just seems like there's so much coming at us, right? And our survival doesn't have to look pretty. We don't have to be well put together. Our hair doesn't have to be neat. Our skin doesn't have to be completely moisturized, right? Our clothes don't have to be ironed, right now. This is not the time of performance. This is a time of getting real and just showing up and being with the energies as they arise and keeping our hearts open because that's the trick here, right? How do you keep your heart open when it feels like it can really feel like phenomena in general is like attacking you, trying to push you down, right? And when it feels like so many people have this agency just to be their meanest, right? And how do you keep your heart open? But even deeper than that, how do you stay in touch with the suffering? Your suffering and the suffering of others, because that's the theme, right? That's the bottom line. There is suffering, and we do what we do because of the suffering, right? And the suffering again is just this deep disappointment, right? That disappointment is feeling that somehow this is not our home, you know, like this is not our home, like there's something else. That feeling or that intuition that there's something else is what drives the spiritual practice, right? This is what drives us into religion and so forth. It is this desire to return back to a home, right? Um, the spiritual path awakens and emerges to take us back to that home, right? And this is why often I teach about the longing for home, like the Dharma of homemaking and the Dharma of home. I've done like these kind of thematic retreats and teachings a lot in the past, right? Because really the root is like we're all longing to return back to what we are. And we know that what we're experiencing now is something that we don't have to experience, but we are, right? And not only us, all the beings around us are moving through this as well, right? And how do we help people get home as we're being helped to return home, right? I always talk about, well, not always, but I've been getting to talk about this experience of intense evolution or these awakening levels of intersectionality that I'm experiencing, where I'm feeling as if I'm evolving into kind of embodying multiple paths at once, which is something that I can't control anymore, right? Because when you say yes to the work, this is what starts to happen. This is, I think, why some of you are very hesitant to really say yes, because it will take you out of what you thought you knew and escort you into this whole brand new space, right? And you can potentially take on the burden of disappointing people because people think you belong in one place because you have a certain title, or this is how they found out about you. And then you find yourself occupying a brand new space. And it's not about other people, it's actually about the ways in which being shown how to get free. Right. And if you're with people who aren't doing the same work, who aren't saying yes, this will seem very bizarre. Right. So the space that's opening up, and sometimes I just kind of sit and I'm like, okay, what am I doing? What is this practice? You know, what spirit am I talking to? Right? What's their language? I haven't been initiated into this, but here I go. What am I doing? Right? That's what happens. Right? You start being invited, you start being like gently guided into your most liberated expression. And this is all based upon a deep trust. Right? And I think I like to share this often, right? Because I just think that the hit that I got as we were listening, as the music was going on, was that, oh, there's so many people that come into this space who come from all kinds of places, all kinds of practices, all kinds of belief systems, right? Not all of you are Buddhists. Right. I would wager not even half of this group is Buddhist, right? But you're drawn to this, right? And I invite you into this, really hoping that you understand that you don't have to leave anything at the door to come into this. This is not how I relate to Tantric Buddhism. This is not how I relate, certainly, to Medicine Buddha, you know. But you're free to find your liberation here. Yeah. And I'm not here to police anything. I'm here to just open the door and I trust you to find your way in, right? Or at least I trust you to come in and to find where you belong here, rather. Like you're in, you're already in. So now it's up to you to figure out, okay, where do I belong here? And we have to trust the Buddhas not to be Buddhist, right? And fundamental and rigid, right? Like we have to trust them to know that we're coming here with the best intentions. And that's what I believe for all of us. Like, I don't think you would be here if you didn't have the best intentions, particularly the intention to be of help, right? But this is actually, what I was thinking about, all this intense intersectionality, all this stuff that's opening up, right? At the end of the day, I only have one ethic, right? Which is to be of benefit, right? As we chant, or recite at the end of every session, Shantideva's prayer, right? That may I become the medicine, right? That is my basic prayer. May I become the medicine. May I pour myself out for the benefit of all beings, but not just the benefit of all beings, but for the liberation of all beings, right? Because this is the most ultimate expression of love, particularly in the relative sense, right? Which is freeing people, freeing beings from suffering. That is what love looks like, right? To free, right? To free ourselves. That's self-love, to free others, collective love. Together, we're getting free together, right? That is really my spiritual path, is to love, right? And of course, at this point in my practice, I no longer um, find it strange that I say stuff like that, right? I don't think I'm less cool because I'm into love, right? I think loving is a really cool thing to do and to be. But my spiritual practice is loving and getting people free, right? And anything that helps me to do that is my dharma, right? And quite frankly, if you have that ethic, then you are invited into the practice, right? You don't have to call yourself anything, right? But you have to be committed to this, right? In the work of abolition, particularly spiritual abolition, right? Our primary medicine is love, right? Real love is the most powerful force or energy in the universe, right? Because love is about bringing things back together. It's about remembering, right? Reassembling, but also remembering, recalling what we are, right? What helps me to survive and actually in many ways thrive is the little bit of memory, right, that I'm getting that reminds me that I extend beyond the limitations or the carcerality of this moment, right? As I often talk about, how do we practice freedom in an unfree world? Well, memory is how we do that. We remember that this world, this experience is only a moment, even though the days may seem like they last forever, but that's actually not my experience of time anymore. Like time, like I don't even remember what happened today. Is that quick? Like I just feel like it's almost May, and I'm like, what happened? I thought it was just January, right? Time speeds up. I'm not gonna get into like all of that right now because it'll just take me down a road, and we'll never get out of it. A road that will probably end up at something dealing with the matrix, and I have restricted myself from that road. Right. Um, but this memory, right? And there's so many heartbreaking things that have happened, even just in the past few days. The shooting in Louisiana, right? Like the shooting of the babies, really, right? This online school for men, um, and then all the other shit that the government's doing in this country. I mean, right? And war and continued genocide. That's just happening now. And then there is the trauma from the past that's still so tangible, right? There's still so much. It's in our bodies, it's in the air, right? It's in things around us. Like that can feel so overwhelming, right? And when it feels overwhelming like that, I have to come back to this practice. I have to come back to the earth. I have to come back to the waters. right? I have to go to the mountains, to sit, and to dwell with the mountain spirits. I have to sit by the fire. I have to commune with the ancestors, right? I have to call in the Buddhas. I have to go talk to Tara, right? It was like my main homegirl. I'm like, so what's up with this shit? You know, what is going on? And I just keep being reminded that that this is as good as it gets in samsara. This is what samsara does, right? Like this happens because we have forgotten what we are, right? And spiritual practice is about helping us to remember that we don't have to be consumed by the suffering, right? That the suffering doesn't have to be the only narrative, right? And there's so much medicine in the world. No matter how hard it gets, this world is still full of medicine, right? But because we have forgotten what we are, it's hard for us to connect to the medicines, right? The phenomenal world is always pointing us back to freedom. If only we could pay attention, which is why we train in meditation, to learn to pay attention, to focus, to discern the signs, the teachings, the messages, right? To remember or to reconnect to the experience of emptiness, right? To reinvest emptiness with this this fullness, this potential, not a void, not a coldness, not a sharpness, but a softness, a fullness, right? How you feel when the dualities and the binaries fall away and you are just the bliss, right? That bliss is the experience of what we are beyond the binaries of suffering and comfort and joy and sadness. Bliss is what is beyond even the limitations of joy, right? This is what we're trying to remember, right? But we're in this very dense experience. It's dense, it's real heavy, right? And we're trying to shake it off. Like we're trying to get moving, we're trying to breathe through it, we're trying to like love through it, right? We're trying to remember that this is just this illusion, this dream, this smoke and shadow, but it feels so real, right? And this is why practices like Medicine Buddha and any deity practice in Buddhism is incredibly beneficial, it's incredibly liberating because Medicine Buddha and Tara and all of them, they arise to help us to remember that there's more than just this. There's more than the brokenheartedness. There's more than the fear, the exhaustion, right? That these are just experiences, but they're not who or what we are, right? And that we are here on purpose, right? This is important. I know some of you like don't believe any of this. You think I'm just giving you a pep talk, but like sometimes I am. Sometimes I just need to like give you something to keep you holding on. But this is actually real. This is actually a deep belief of mine that I am here on purpose. And if you are here practicing with this ethic of love, you're here on purpose, right? I take refuge in that truth, right? Like again, this reminds me of Harriet. That's Harriet Tubman for those of you who are new. You're going to hear a whole lot about her. Um, but like Harriet came here, and she has often come to Earth in human form, but she came here as Harriet last time on purpose. And that's what gave her the strength to keep pushing on, to keep running, to keep hiding, to keep fighting, but to keep loving, right? You're here on purpose. You have agency, even though it doesn't feel like it, right? Again, it feels like we're bound in this carcerality, right? That's expressing itself on multiple levels. Yes, it can feel like we're helpless and powerless, but the Dharma is here to remind us that we have choices. We have agency, that I don't have to believe all the shit that keeps being thrown at me. Like I don't have to buy into all the ways in which systems and institutions tells me that I don't belong, that I'm not good enough, or that I deserve to be the target of violence and manipulation and harm. Like, I don't have to buy into that. And for those people who buy into that, particularly for those people who buy into the narrative that they have a right to dominate and to subjugate others, they are even more lost than any being in the universe, right? That I can disrupt that narrative through the work and the practice of love, right? That I can love myself and I can love the beings who are trying to annihilate me, right? I don't have to like them, right? But I have to want them to be free, right? If we could remember even a little bit of who and what we are, we would not be trying to dominate others in the ways that we humans have dominated one another for thousands of years, right? We're trying to remember this for ourselves. This is what I hold on to every day, and I need you to hold on to this as well. I need you to enter into this really messy work of survival and loving and making mistakes and being courageous, right? You're being invited into a kind of evolution, a new awakening, but you're afraid because you don't know how people are going to take it. Well, fuck people, right? Like, I know that sounds harsh and kind of, kind of out of like, out of lines with Dharma, but you have to stop centering other people's opinions and feedbacks about your liberation, right? You have to, you have to make the choices to get free, right? Like you have to take the risk in the same way Harriet did. You have to take the risks, right? And this is going to cost a lot. And I know what that cost is. I have paid it. I've paid a lot, you know. If only it were as simple as just like giving money and exchanging money, right? But it's not that simple, right? To give up everything, to give up a sense of security, sometimes to give up a sense of safety, to give up the potential, of having a life that resembles other people's lives, like to give up all of that, right? And to say yes to the moment and to trust the moment to take care of you. Do you trust that though? Right? Again, the phenomenal world and the unseen world are trying to get you free, but you don't know. There's just so much fear there. Like the ancestors are waiting for you, right? They're waiting for you to do a lot of work to get them free as well, by the way. But they're also waiting, right, to lift you up, to support you, right? There's so many resources. You are spiritually wealthy, but you're afraid to take responsibility for that spiritual wealth, right? And more, I take responsibility for my spiritual wealth, right? And that means I have to let go of how this may disappoint people, right? Because yeah, this is absolutely collective liberation, but each of us have to make a choice about getting free. Because I can't drag you to freedom. You can't drag anyone to freedom. Harriet couldn't drag people to freedom, but she had a gun. So that went a long way, right? Right? You know, if you chose to follow her, you weren't leaving, right? You weren't giving up, right? Because in her teaching, it was liberty or death, and she was going to give you one of them, right? But that's the same choices we have for ourselves. Am I going to get free, right? Or am I going to die trying, right? Those are the choices, right? We have to get serious about this, right? And you know, as I grow older in the practice, right, I just it's so like extraordinary that what the path is becoming is nothing like what I expected. Like there's a nuance and a subtlety here that is so, like the best word is fascinating. It is fascinating. It is interesting what navigating samsara and this ignorance and delusion or this lack of clarity, what this really is, how personal it is, but also how collective it is, that both are happening at the same time. Right? That in no way possible could I imagine that I could be embodying this kind of life, this kind of living, right? Which seems like the person that I was before practice compared to the person I am deep in my practice, or just like it's two different people. Like I don't even remember who I used to be, right? This is what the practice has offered me over all of these years. And this is why I'm able to show up in this moment of apocalypse, this moment of systemic falling apart, to tell you this, to offer this good word, right? That survival, even thriving, is possible, but what are you ready to offer? What are you ready to give up? Like, what are you holding on to that you no longer need, right? Are you ready to heal? Or do you still just want to worship your trauma, right? Trauma isn't going to get you free, particularly in the way that we're in a relationship with it. But trauma is showing you something, it's showing you this path to awakening, right? If we can just do this intense work of letting it go, right? But you know, moving into our practice now, um, we come to Medicine Buddha, you know, with this deep intention to heal, right? But healing is about remembering, reassembling, coming back together. Healing is about balance, right? Healing doesn't mean that I'm not going to die because I will, right? Healing is about remembering what we are, right? That is what dharmic-based healing is. Also, what any like liberatory kind of indigenous tradition, at least in my experience, is really about is remembering, right? Remembering who and what we are, remembering our connection to the natural world, to community, right? To the ancestors, right? Remembering our connection to the breath, to our minds, to our bodies, right? Learning to just be, not pretending, not performing, not faking it, but just being, right? to just hold space with no intention, with no agenda, to watch, right? And just showing up and just noticing, right? To feel the stability, the tethering of the earth, to feel the opening of the sky, the space above and around us. As we breathe, remembering that we are breathing with the ancestors, like it or not, right? That we are that our bodies, right, are expressions of all the beings who came before us. There is this link, this profound connection that doesn't get broken because we're not aware or because we don't want to feel that tethering. It's going to be there, right? And it's there on purpose for a reason, not as a punishment. So as we enter into our practice, just feeling, beginning to feel the weight of your body in the seats, feeling the land, the earth as the mother, as for me, another expression of Mother Tara rising to hold us. Lifting our attention and our energy like to the sky, right? We touch the Father. These sacred dualities of mother and father taking us back to this experience, this oneness, this awakening, this taking us back to God, if you will, if you can, or if you must. Right? To be able to touch God again, but for God not to be a person or a thing, but to be the state of love, of being, of freedom, of fluidity. And then the space, like the space, what is the space? Everything is held in this boundless spaciousness, that there's room for everything. And there's room for everything because the space, like the energy that forms all phenomena, arises from the state of emptiness. That there's no there. That the only limitations that I experience is a thought and a belief that rises out of a thought. And then from that belief, an etiquette, a lifestyle, dogmas. But we get back to the root, which is the thought itself. That in this moment, because of the truth of emptiness, there is a real kind of freedom here. If I can just remember and trust that truth, I am already free. We are already free. And though it takes work to remember that, it does nothing to dispel the truth that this is happening. It has always been happening. It will continue to happen. That though I struggle, I am free. And though we all struggle together in this moment, we are all free. And if you're working with your breath, just noticing the in breath and the out breath. Inhaling into the nose, releasing out of your mouth, slowing down the breath, elongating and releasing. We're offering space to the discomfort. Mhm. We're offering space to the grief. Grief and breath ride together. As I inhale, I am inhaling deeply into my experience of the grief, the brokenheartedness, or the basic disappointment. Opening up the space around the truth that the world, this experience is not my true home. It's not the real home, but this is where I'm at now. And to work with the truth of this moment, I first have to hold space for it, which means that I allow the grief to surface, the anger to surface, the frustration to surface. That in this practice, I am telling myself the truth. And the truth is just what is happening for me right now, which is a relative truth. And this is what it means to tend to our experience. We allow our experiences to be, we feel the support of the earth, the seat. We feel space, boundlessly holding everything. We open to what can be open to. And wherever we are is the birthplace of all the Buddhas. It is the birthplace in this moment of Medicine Buddha. So when you're ready, we turn our attention to our opening mantra, Om in La Sangye Kino. Soha, Medicine Buddha, please think of me. Please remember me. Again, this profound medicine of remembrance. And we ask Medicine Buddha to remember us, to remember our struggle, to remember our suffering. Because we're actually saying, you know, we don't have to explain why this is hard because you know. We are already being glimpsed and held by so many beings, including all the Buddhas. So as we chant in our minds, we're thinking, we're saying, Medicine Buddha, you know this. And let Medicine Buddha become the expression of whatever, whomever is easiest for you to open to. The Buddhas manifest in whatever way is skillful and skillful enough to reach us, to touch us. So as we often do in the practice, let Medicine Buddha take on the form of the healer you need to be in relationship with in this practice, Who's trying to heal you? Who's trying to see you? Who's trying to show up and hold you? Let Medicine Buddha become that being. So we turn our attention to the mantra. We begin with chanting Om, and then chanting the mantra 3 times, and then ending with chanting Om. Okay? So we begin. Let's inhale. Om Lazange Hino Soa Om Lazange Hino Soa Om Lazange Kino Soha And with that mantra, we invite Medicine Buddha into our space, into our minds, into our bodies. But to go even further into the practice, we turn our attention and our mind to the space above our heads. And we call into the space above us all of the beings who love us. All the beings across the universe, across dimensions and timelines, to calm and awaken, appear in the space just above our heads. And so many beings begin to appear. It's almost as if they're like clouds of beings assembling above us. All these beings who love us, who want us to be free. These are all of our teachers and guides, mentors, elders, all the communities that love us, our lineages, our benevolent ancestors, all the beings who made it possible for us to do what we do, to do the things that we love, those beings who taught us, who studied, who practiced, who held traditions, who passed them on to us, and all the beings who passed the tradition on to them, and so on and so on. We invite all of these beings all the way back to the beginning of time. All the beings who love us. They gather above us like storm clouds almost, full, heavy, with the weight of their love for us. And in the center of this gathering, cloudy mass of benefactors, we imagine Medicine Buddha appearing in the form of the healer that we most need to be in relationship to right now. What is arising? What is appearing as an expression of the great healer. So Medicine Buddha, in whatever form Medicine Buddha takes, appears just directly above our head, surrounded by all of these benefactors, these clouds of beings who love us. And these clouds of beings, our benefactors, begin to radiate, glow with the light of their love, not just for us, but the light of their love and deep reverence from Medicine Buddha that's appeared in their midst. And they begin to radiate their deep energy of care and love in the form of light into the very body of this manifestation of Medicine Buddha. And this being is being filled with this light, this love, and this care from all these countless benefactors from across the universe who are here to offer us support. And we imagine that this manifestation of Medicine Buddha is heavy in this profound, rich, deep, radiant glow as they absorb this energy from all of our benefactors. And this energy of the great healer becomes so heavy that from their bodies, this stream of energy, like a stream of something sweet like honey or maple syrup, begins to fall in this thick stream from their bodies to the top of our heads. And this energy slowly begins to sink into our bodies. And this energy is cleansing energy. And our bodies are beginning to be filled with this sweetness, this light. And as our bodies are filled, all the suffering, the fear, the hesitancy, the sadness, everything that we no longer need begins to be released from our bodies. And all this energy of what is being released or detoxed from our body falls to the earth and is absorbed and neutralized by the lands that are holding us. We allow ourselves to be filled deeply with this sweet light and energy. Let yourself become radiant like a star in the sky, like Tara herself, radiating, glittering, glowing, swirling, sashaying. Whatever gay thing you want to do, just do it. Because you are a star, you're a diamond. Right? Let yourself sparkle. Let yourself be a diamond. And let the radiance from your diamondhood dispel all the darkness of this moment, all the hate, the violence, the trauma, the disappointment, the fear. Let yourself glow and radiate against all of this. This radiance is not just your awakened mind, but it is the hope, aspirations, and the courage of all of the beings who have walked this path and who have gotten free. Let their essence remind us that this is possible. And as we sit in this radiance, we turn our attention to Medicine Buddha's main mantra, Teata Bekense, Maha Bekense, Ratsa Sumungate, Soha, like this. I pray for the end of pain and suffering and the roots of pain and suffering. And I dedicate the energy of this prayer out to all beings. May we all be liberated through this profound practice. And so we begin. O te anda begenze, begenze, ma begenze, razuzumungade soha. 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 Te anda begenze, begenze, ma begenze, razuzumungare zoha, 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 te anda begenze, begenze, ma begenze, razuzumungare zoha. And we just begin to offer up the prayers from our community, and again we call into the space all of the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, the Yidams, the Dharma protectors, all beings of light, all of the guardians, guides, spirits of the ancestors, all benevolent ancestors, all beings who are about liberation and the end of suffering. We invite you to hear these prayers as we offer them to you, and that we ask you that to move and to work on our behalf to bring about the fruition of these prayers, and in the process show us how to also do the work to bring about the fruition of these prayers as well. And we're offering prayers for myself so I may navigate major change in my life with compassion, presence, and love. Offering prayers for wisdom, strength, and clear vision. Prayers for the strength and long life of all the tenders, healers, carers, lovers in all realms. Prayers for Lama Rod to get free ASAP. Prayers for N and R to be healthy, safe, well, and free. Prayers for everyone to be free ASAP. Prayers that in my current rebirth I remember past, present, and future commitment to abolition and liberation. Asheo. Prayers for fortification and harmony as grief and celebration from ending a partnership and moving to a new state and chapter. Prayers for the light my family brings me, blessings for the blessings that continue to find me. May I continue to notice and divine in the everyday. Prayers for MA that he continues his healing speedily and with ancestral strength. Prayers for Aunt Eleanor, Courtney, and Andrea as they navigate the new norm. Prayers to heal from this depression, disassociation, and anxiety, and for strength to heal from my addictions. Prayers for my full freedom and autonomy as soon as possible. Prayers of gratitude for the beings helping me to get there. Prayers of protection and evolution for O and D. Prayers that I can complete the story and have it to be helpful, meaningful. Prayers that I be fully safe and free from negative intentions, interference, and attachments from now on in all timelines. Prayers of thanks for help healing my inner child, rewilding, reparenting, trying to get her the chance to be who she never got to be. Prayers for Karen to accept and to love her look so that she feels her beauty. Prayers for strength in my physical body and continued healing and opening my heart and mind. Prayers for A and Z to get free. Prayers for Darcy and his extended family who are grieving the sudden loss of his father. Prayers for his mother's health, and may they experience comfort, strength, and love moving through this difficult time. Prayers for Rebecca for resolution and repair. Prayers to be of help for the liberation of beings from suffering. Prayers for MZ, A, and R. May they experience healing, protection, and freedom. Prayers for JB to find support and love. Prayers for C to receive love and care. Prayers for Rhonda, Melissa, Kathy, Sharon, and Judith. The prayers for Adam as he continues his journey with sobriety, vulnerability, and loving his life. Prayers for freedom for the kidnapped and incarcerated and caged immigrants and their families. Prayers for Jay as he transitions into the bardo for his family and friends in grief. Prayers for C, and may he be freed from his addictions as lovingly and as immediately as possible. Prayers that I receive the love and support, both seen and unseen, that I need to endure this painful season and this existential anguish. Prayers for me to forgive myself for who I am, for what I have done, for the choices I have made and the choices I have not made. Prayers for AC and CI as they navigate and figure out next steps for a difficult health diagnosis. Prayers for me to receive the love. Prayers for Pam and gratitude for teaching. May her path be lit. May she be reborn. And prayers for the entire Spirit Rock meditation community. Prayers for my dad who is losing his memory. My dad who is caring for him. May they both know peace of mind and feel deeply resourced and supported. Prayers for all people who are growing older and losing capacities that they used to have. And for all caretakers. Prayers for clarity on the next steps of my vocation. Prayers for the people of Lebanon. Prayers for Sister Aisha's safe travels. Prayers for Bindu as she heals and adapts to changing physical experiences. Prayers for R as she navigates court, finances, and relationship demands. Prayers for my sister for protection and liberation. Prayers that I find the love I long for and for a meaningful job that aligns with the Dharma as soon as possible. And from the angry ancestors to the current angry little girl within, may this healing span all the generations. Prayers for my friend Frank Ballard, who has been in ICU for 2 months after falling down the steps at home. He's finally moving and speaking a little bit. Prayers for his wife Margot as she navigates a long and difficult recovery alongside him. Prayers for the restaurant and for all the staff who are like a family, who all need prayers of support. Prayers for myself navigating profound feelings of grief and loss in the current moment and moments from the past that are coming up intensely. Prayers to stay present and awake and hopefully be able to let go of and heal. Prayers for Ricky Joyner as he moves to the Bardo for his wife Diane as she adapts to a life without him, for myself and his loss. Prayers for all humans, that we all remember all of our relations that we sense with our heart and our bodies, how to live with the truth together. May we heal our wounds of domination and brutalization. May we love. Prayers for all to live with ease, liberation, love. For all, for myself to let go of everything and everyone that doesn't also yearn for ultimate freedom. Prayers that I feel connected and spacious at all times. Prayers for a sustenance of my courage, especially the courage, resourcing and protection to inhabit my rage. Prayers for my friend who is struggling with their mental health and their family. Prayers for Virgie who has passed from this life. Prayers for my son to feel some love and peace, for him to find the capacity to move forward. Prayers for overcoming the way my long time chronic condition limits my practice. Prayers for all who are suffering from war and greed in so many ways. Prayers for myself to remember. Prayers for Lama Rod's safety, especially during travel. Prayers that I may find the way. Prayers for my family as we grieve, and prayers for our freedom. Prayers for aid as you heal your historical pain and trauma. Prayers for the Butler family and community mourning Paul's passing. Prayers for help protecting myself with courage and honesty. I offer special prayers for Swami Jaya Devi as she navigates this next part of her life. I offer prayers for all the members of this community who are traveling to join us in the retreats in Europe. May all obstacles related to crossing borders and territories be cleared. May we all have ease in our travel, and may we have the retreats and the experiences that we need in order to heal and to return back to our places. I continue to pray for the healing and the well-being of my Aunt Jelaine, who is still recovering from a massive stroke and who is still in a coma. I continue to pray for all beings of light and love and liberation in this world. I uplift all those in this space who are at the front lines of your work. May you be resourced and protected. I continue to pray for the complete abolition of all the systems and institutions that prevent us from being and experiencing freedom in the relative world. May all the violence, all the hate, all the fear be dissipated, and may we all remember our inherent awakened Buddha nature. May we all get free as quickly as possible. May it be so. And just returning our attention to the mantra, and in our practice of the mantra, just letting go of all of our anxiety, all of our hopes and our fears for what we are praying for, and just open to the space that holds these prayers, and let the prayers themselves begin to shape the causes and conditions to bring about what we most need to experience. May we enter into this practice with a deep trust that we are being cared and tended to. May it be so. We begin again. O Jayanda Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Ratsu Sumungache Soha Jayanda Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Ratsu Sumungache Soha Jayanda 마비근세라는 수문가래소하 대한다 옴비근세 비근세 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 마비근세 라는 수문가래소하. And so just releasing whatever needs to be released, letting the light, the stream of sweetness from the medicine Buddha above us completely fill us now, leaving room for only light, space, openness. We offer a deep thanks to all of our benefactors. And we imagine that all of our benefactors above our heads dissolve into light, letting all of that light fall into us. The medicine Buddha above our heads, as we offer deep gratitude to them, also melts into light and is absorbed down into our bodies. And we sit for a moment, being filled with this light. And may this light remind you of what is possible. And so when you're ready, returning your attention back to the seat, to the weight of your body, allowing your body to come back into form, connecting to the land, allowing the land, the earth, to hold us, to tether us. If you're working with the breath, returning back to the breath, letting the breath and its inhalation and exhalation just continue to move energy through our experience. When you're ready, beginning to reawaken your bodies through simple, slow, extended movement, not moving too quickly, not overextending, but moving at the pace of your body in this moment. Shake off what needs to be shook off. Remembering that if you can shake it, you can make it. Which feels like old ancestral wisdom. If you can move it, you can do it. So we turn our attention to Shantideva's prayer in the Bodhisattva's way of life, which we will recite 3 times as an offering and dedication of merit. We begin. May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage, for all those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the nurse. May I be the doctor and the medicine. May I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures. And until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures. And until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. And finally, may I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. All right. Thank you so much for your practice. I don't actually remember if that was 3 times. Was that 3 times? No? Oh, was it? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Felt like it to me.
I don't know. I just, kind of lost it. But anyway, it's the intention. Um, so great. Um,
Any final words or thoughts or questions or anything to close?
no, yeah, I will be traveling, away for a couple of weeks, so I won't be here. Just so you know that. But I'll be back in May, and I look forward to seeing maybe some of you in Portugal or in Glastonbury. Um, so yeah, so that's it. May you be well and protected until we meet again. May you rely on the protection of all the beings who love you because it is very potent and present. You just have to reach out and trust it. Wrap yourself in the armor of all of the beings who love you as you move through the world. Let your heart break and know that your broken heart is being held by so many beings. Trust that you are beloved and tended to, and allow that trust to accompany you until we meet again. May it be so.